While One Direction was performing in San Diego, Harry Styles said this.
Does anybody like dolphins? Don't go to SeaWorld.
Okay, so of course, a lot of people applauded Harry Styles, and just some backstory, he's been a big fan of the Dolphin Project, as well as after he saw the movie The Cove. This is where he got his opinion, even though SeaWorld isn't necessarily taking their dolphins from the Cove. We'll get into all that discussion. He's a big advocate for them, and good for him. Now, when SeaWorld caught light of this is what SeaWorld had to say, quote, SeaWorld has rescued more than 480 whales and dolphins. Right now, we are caring for a wild dolphin that we rescued several weeks ago. This animal would have died without our help. Our team is with this animal 24 hours a day and has walked alongside him and cradled him to help him stay afloat. Our goal with him is the same as with any rescued animal, rehabilitate and return him to the wild. Now, they also invited Harry Styles to please come to SeaWorld to see all the great conservation that they do, to meet some of the vets. And my blood's boiling right now. Boiling.
Sam, why is your blood boiling?
Boiling.
Do you want us to turn on the AC, or is this like a mental, emotional response?
If you're saving a dolphin, good for you. Like, good for you, but that does not somehow justify how you have, in your hands, SeaWorld, over the past 50 years, have killed thousands of marine animals, okay?
That's the thing, is like, at what point in the rehabilitation process is it advantageous to the animal to learn how to do flippy tricks?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are we doing here? Well, like, explain that aspect of it. You're not an aquarium.
And that's
like at aquariums, maybe we found these animals and we have them swimming around, and I want to see, instead of like the flippy trick shows, I want to see dolphin treadmills. I want to see dolphin gymnasiums where they are doing, or at least justified
mental
to me
stimulation.
in a way that makes sense to me. Like with dogs, a way to rehabilitate like herding dogs is to put them through obstacle courses so that they can feel like they're, it helps their emotions. They've studied that, where they feel like they're contributing because that's what they've been bred to do.
Yes.
I just wonder, like they say that one of their defenses in these hilarious SeaWorld ads,
which their PR department is one of the most savvy out there, and that's what you have to understand. So you should go and do your own research. There's a website, a fantastic website called setabase.com, and what they do is Setabase, they track CETA base.com, and what they do is they have tracked all the captivity of I don't think it's all marine life. I think it's just dolphins, beluga whales, and orca. So not like sea lions. And what they do is they track them, and then you can go ahead and crunch the numbers, and they list each name of each dolphin from all the different SeaWorld parks that have died. So they'll say, okay, this one was a stillborn. This one died 7 days in. This one died at 7 months. And just in the past 10 years, there's been 64 dolphin deaths.
If I'm SeaWorld, like, that's like, my response would be like, essentially we're a hospital, and sick people die at hospitals. If we're a rehabilitation station and we get animals that are in need of rehabilitation and they die, like, well, that makes sense that they would die because they came here because they were sick. Now, what's at odds with that is, like, the reason people go to SeaWorld and pay SeaWorld money is to see jumpy flippy shows. Yeah. And it's not in my interest to release these animals when they're healthy.
Yeah.
If I've spent all this money training them to the point where they can have the flippy dippy shows,
And these animals were bred in captivity. I mean, there's still a few animals that they don't get, they can't capture them anymore because of some Mammal Protection Act, but it's still encouraging that, because with SeaWorld, they do import some of the animals, some of the dolphins that come from different parks that do still catch. So inherently, they're still supporting that. And then even the animals that are in captivity, first of all, their lifespans are way shorter. So typically, a dolphin can live 40 to 50 years. In SeaWorld, I mean, you're getting dolphins that are stillborn, 7, and we're talking about dolphins specifically right now. We're not even talking about the sea lions that die and the orcas and all of that. But so even if they do die, as they say, of old age at like 27 years old, that's still half of the lifespan.
Yeah.
And they're dying of like things that shouldn't have never taken place. place. Like when you look at this document on setabase.com or cetabase.com, it shows you that this dolphin died of ingesting licorice and coins. This dolphin died of ingesting a buoy. So it's just, and of course they're depressed and they're in small environments and it's just, it's so depressing, you guys. It's so, can we talk about Shamu? This is something I didn't even know. I didn't even know when I was doing the research for this, I didn't know that when Shamu 50 years ago was taken to the very first SeaWorld, that Shamu was captured in the waters of Washington here in America. And Shamu was a little tiny calf and swimming alongside her mother, and they decided, I don't know if they wanted both of them, but they definitely wanted the mother, and they harpooned the mother, and just in order to like stall her so they could get her and capture her, they harpooned her on accident too deep where the mother immediately started sinking and drowned and died. Meanwhile, according to some of the crew members, Shamu the baby was freaking out, the calf, because her mother was dying in front of her eyes, sinking. They come over, they capture Shamu, and then we all were entertained by Shamu for decades. That's how Shamu was captured, stripped by her mother, harpoon. I mean, it's disgusting.
It's
it's
rough.
Absolutely
disgusting.
disgusting.
What's interesting? You know what's tough to me?
I
want to.
It's insulting that they have this PR department that makes it look like they're doing good. And if you are saving dolphins here and there, that's awesome. But it's not taking away from all the bad you're doing. The only reason why you're saving some is for your own reasons to look good for the mass public.
Here's a weird way to think, is imagine if you grew up going to SeaWorld, and by no fault of your own, because you're
I went a couple times as a kid. I had no idea. I thought it was fantastic.
And all you want to do in life is be one of the people who plays around with the dolphins.
And I wanted to be one of them. I did. I was like, that looks so fun and sweet and fun, and they look like they're having fun.
What a weird position to be in as one of those people who you're an animal trainer, and you put in hours and hours. And now you have to look at all the facts.
Yeah.
And you're probably the kind of person who's like, if I give you the benefit of the doubt, who's like, this is just wrong.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with your life?
I know. I can't imagine, because you would think that they initially got into it because they love the marine mammals. You would think that's why they got into it. And then they get exposed to all these horrific facts, and it's just, yeah, it's so sad. But what can we do? What can we do? Because last time a lot of people brought up the fact of like aquariums and zoos and how are they different, and not all zoos, some zoos and some aquariums, for one, education, and yeah, I know zoos are bad too.
Zoos are depressing as
all
hell.
They're so depressing, but some
Until I found out that they have to get semen samples from the animals, so at least they have that pleasure.
Some zoos are conservation only, though, where they do rescue the animals that maybe like a tiger that has, one bad leg that would not fend for itself in the wild. And so there are, you just have to do your research. There are certain educational places out there that have animals that are doing it specifically for conservation with rescued animals that would not be able to survive in the wild. And that would be a great place to go and learn about it. But other than that, I think SeaWorld, if they took that direction, which I don't think they ever would, I think SeaWorld needs to just close its doors. But then what would they do with all those animals? If you're bred in captivity, could you even fend for yourself in the wild?
I don't know, but if you saw Jurassic World, it's a pretty tricky proposition.
I hated Jurassic World, by the way.
You're experiencing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
And you're going to be a warrior velociraptor, and who knows what happens.
And the poor brontosauruses. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but that.
Apparently, great things happen to them.
I had to go walk out. I had to walk out of the movie.
Sam,
I did.
Sam has an emotional response to extinct computer-generated animals. That's how deeply rooted your empathy for all members of the animal kingdom.
Yes, all animals. Okay, you guys, so please keep the conversation going in regard to SeaWorld and Harry Styles. Way to go, Harry Styles. We'll see you guys next time on Pop Trigger.